Okay, are we live? Testing. Let's see. Refresh this. Sound check. Sound check. Okay, we're good. Sound check. Okay, we're good. Sound check. Okay, we're good. Let's look at so we're gonna finish up the furniture rental business today. Well, get most of it done, I think. Um, as you know, every morning 9 a.m. on Tuesdays, I usually stream. Today's Wednesday. I was out of town, so I had to push it back. Um, but before I get into the model, let's go over some housekeeping, a couple updates. One, the car wash model, I added a metric that I saw was actually very useful, which is average profit per car, which you can now see in here. And I think I put the calculation on the annual. No, I just must have done it here. So I did total cars, total EBITDA divided by total cars per year. And I read on a thing, $4.35 is a decent target, but in general, 29% of the ticket price per wash is a number. So obviously, inflation and stuff is going to change what this is, but the margins are where you're looking. So obviously, these are higher, um, and that's why this is higher per car because these margins are higher. But these numbers are just arbitrary. Doesn't mean anything. Just depending on what your assumptions are when you put it in here is going to change it. So the car wash model updated. The other thing was the SaaS startup model. I actually didn't realize I didn't have the LTV to CAC ratio or the average LTV per customer. So I added these two. I also stuck them along the executive summary, and you can see their calculation is based on these here. So that was one small update to the SaaS model. This is my first SaaS model I ever did, and it's gone through a lot, but it's pretty simple, and I feel like it's one of the more it's quick and easy to use as well. Okay, so those are updates. Um, clear that out, clear that out, and I don't think I've got anything new on the site. So let's get into furniture rental. So what is going on here is, let's see where we are. Get this sorted. So, so last week we ended off. Let me just maximize this. Okay. So we've got all these matrix tabs, one, two, three, four, and this was to figure out. So what we did is we assumed over 5 years you can have 7 rounds of purchases of stuff that you're going to potentially rent out. You can do the start or the date of purchase for up to 25 categories over those 7 purchases. Each purchase tranche has a date, cost per unit, total units. And you see the total cost down here. Um, Now each of these matrix tabs you can see as purchase group 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So, and I had to do all kinds of references to get the correct calculations so that when we go to do depreciation and revenue and everything else, we can pick out, um, get correct numbers based on this input structure. One reason why this was difficult to do is because we're doing sections by category. Sound like I just had a new subscriber. Welcome, new subscriber. Um, we had to go by category, and by purchase at the top, but there was also multiple purchase rounds. So it was hard to do a nice referenceable matrix, but it was possible. And you saw that on the video last week as I built it. So I was really struggling to figure out exactly how we do revenue. So I figured, well, this is like when things go into service. Um, we know how much it's going to cost. That we know we're going to be able to figure out the depreciation. Then we figure out over time, assuming the business grows and gets more popular, it's likely that more of the stuff you have to rent out is going to be actually rented out and used. So you can change the utilization in each of the 5 years. Um, there's also some loss rate here, monthly loss rate furniture. So this is assuming if you buy 10 chairs, after 100 months, you're gonna end up losing the chairs due to wear and tear or whatever. But that's what this is essentially is the monthly degradation of this unit count here. And you can see, let's see, in one of these matrices, it's gonna be, so this one did count uh, total purchases. Oh, we didn't relabel these. So this is, let's see, revenue. Oh man, so we left off. Okay, so here's where we left off is revenue. Good to know. Revenue by category. Ah, here we go. So here's the percentages. It's just doing based on whenever the purchases happen in each category for each group over time. Here's how much is left. So this is like tranche 1, 2, 3, and so this percentage is based on this here. You see if I change category 2 to like 5%, and we go over to here, now look, category 2 is now going down by 5 instead of 1. Um, so I'm still trying to get my bearings on where I'm at here. I think, so these are total purchase, let's see, index. These are total purchase cost. This is where we left off on revenue by tranche. Um, so I'm just working through to get my bearings here on where the heck we are on this rental model. So we've got all our purchases. We've got utilization, loss of monthly percentage loss, rental fees. So this is how much you're charging over time for each category on average. Let's see here. So category 1. Yeah, so you're going to have average price per category. That makes sense. And then average working days per month. Okay. uh, so I think I'm ready to keep going here. Let's see. I just want to double check this percentage. Is this doing a 1% decrease like compounded? Let me see here. So 1.9, so it's going down. Okay, so we probably, that does not need to be compounded. Let's look at this calculation here. So that's fine. Greater than 0, then C3. We probably don't need to say reference the thing before it. Instead of that, we can just put 1. Because you always start at 100%. No, hold on, no. Undo that. You go C3 minus the percentage. And I know last week I was sick, so there's probably something that's probably I was not saying, making it harder than it really had to be. So really just go the number for it minus the percentage that's in that row. And there you go. Now it's even. Yeah, because I was gonna say that shouldn't ever, if it's 1%, it should never be a odd decimal. Drag that down. Okay, perfect. And same with this. We'll just do, instead of multiplied by 1 minus that, it's just going to be that minus the percentage. Very easy fix. And that's why a lot of time with financial modeling, it's good to get away if you've been burnt out or if you're stuck in something. Go away from it for a day or two, or at least like 5 or 6 hours, and then come back and think about it again to see if anything's changed. Because oftentimes your brain just, the stuff gets hard, like overwhelming sometimes when you're doing so much of it, and your brain just stops working properly or efficiently. Okay, 4. So we go this minus the index. Now what did I do with this? Oh, it just looks weird because we're now into triple digits on the row. Okay, now let's go to category 6, or yeah, 6, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's put 5%. Average month 20 months, so category 6. Yeah, there we go. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Perfect. And then that's 20 months. Yep, that's what we want. And then this goes for each purchase group separately. And I've done index match, which is really useful for this because I can do um, match the category with, well, actually, I only used index on the row here, But on the other ones where I have to match the category and the year or the cost based on the category and the purchase, and then the reference is based on the position here, the index match really comes in handy. I guess technically, well, no, you can't do an index with multiple columns. Like I can't match this and this and this. It's a matrix of just rows, one row in one column. So it just looks at if the date is within the range on each of these, and each tranche, and then it does the lookup for. Let's see. Well, actually, did I use index on the whole thing? Index. Yeah, I did for this. So this is doing, yep. So see, it's matching the purchase one, purchase two, as well as the category to get the total purchases. So these are total purchases. So this is like 10, 22, 36. And then what that means is 36. If you look at category 3 there, you're at 3 times 12. So that's your total purchase amount. And what we'll do is we're going to assume, we haven't gotten into depreciation yet, but we're going to assume each of these categories has its own um, expected accounting, generally accepted accounting practice useful life. And it could be different for each category depending on what the category is. So that's why I'm going to allow for a different data entry for each of these for the depreciation um, number of years. But that's different than this loss rate because this is what you actually think it's going to last for. The depreciation is actually going to be what is accepted as a useful life for the category, which will often vary from this number. So I think we can just go along here with our rental fees, which we were on matrix 3. So let's just start in here. Looks like that's where I left off. So for revenue, we are doing index. Let me just see where I'm at. Revenue assumptions C96 to G. Oh, so that's got to be locked. Hold on. So we started in 69. I think we got to stay up in 69 to redo all of these references, but then we're going to move over. Well, let's see. So this has got to be 69. This has got to be 69. And then we're matching revenue C68 to G68. So we're pulling this. I'm assuming, let's see, what did we do? G69. Why did I put 66? 69, 69. And then that's the same C68 to G68. For the row, which is just matching the year. So it's pulling the revenue per day based on the year, matching the year in the matrix, which is just our timeline for the model. And then I'm pretty sure we'll match down this way too. Let's see, revenue. Yeah, C65, G65. If that matches C to G37. So there it's doing utilization rate. So we're doing the dollar per day times utilization rate, and then probably times this. Just so sometimes it takes a bit to get back into what what we're doing here. This is complicated. So that's that times the utilization rate times revenue C97. That's the days per month. And then we're multiplying that by matrix C57, matrix 4C57 times the max of matrix 1C57 to BJ57. So if we go to matrix 457, that's the third tranche. So this is giving our percentage of the units that we bought that are left based on whatever, wear and tear, etc. Times max of C50, oh wait, matrix 4C58, the percentage that we just did, times the max of matrix 1C58. So this is now, it's just taking the max of that row, which is telling you how many were bought. So however many were bought times the percentage left times the revenue per day times utilization rate times days per month. So this data is used in all the matrix tabs to go through, and then we're doing index and match, and we're formatting so that we can just drag it, and we have this data now referenced on a proper timeline. We can then apply these assumptions to it to get expected revenue. Okay, I'm just making sure I don't need to adjust anything else. Really, it's just I put this, keep that at 69 so it goes down, and then all my other references move automatically because I've made all the matrices the same exact, it's purchase one is from, row 4 to 28, etc. down the row. So now I just got to make sure these match. D5, G5, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So this should be H5, D, E, F, G. No, it's J. There we go. And I should just be able to drag this down. We'll have to do all kinds of checking to make sure this is proper logic. See, looks like there is an issue here because that should not be 82 million. So we'll see. The good thing about this rental model though is that it technically, I feel like you could probably use this to some degree for any rental business. It's not. I started off with just saying furniture rental, but honestly, it could be equipment rental, furniture, party supply rental. Honestly, even probably car rental. Um, Anything where you're buying initial equipment or supplies or what, you're buying something and then you're renting it out over time. That's basically, and this logic has done a really good job at allowing for really good granularity between saying what you're buying and when, and then the utilization over time. So really, it's a general rental business model or financial model. All right, so obviously should not be 82 million. So we need to fix another reference here. I'm just seeing what it might be. So we know 69 is the right row here. That's right. Um, so what the easiest thing is, let's just start pulling apart each thing. So let's go into the value here and see where our value is off at. So 5, that's good. That's correct. Let's take this one out. Okay, 45. So here's our issue. That's a date. I can already tell this is a date. August 2023, I think. Yeah, right here. So for some reason, why validation A32? Why did I reference A32? That's an error. See these things you catch. So this is the first year. I must have had it scroll down and I just picked it. This should always be the first month. Now it didn't really matter for our references because we're just referencing year 1 through 5, but the display was off. So okay, so that's fine. Um, but yeah, you can see that's referencing 1/1/2021. So right now it's pulling this, which is not good. We want it to pull this. So we've got some issue with the reference here. It's the second one. So the first one's good. It's this one here. So index C65. Ah, I see. So that one's also got to be, so that's got to be C38 on the revenue, which is this here. Okay, good to know. Let's change that. So C38. And when I'm building these, I'm trying to make it as easy to replicate the logic as possible, as needed. And for this, it's easier, assuming you do it all at once. Not me, I had to figure out what I did last time, which I forgot. But all I have to do here is adjust the, and now we're getting good numbers, adjust the first two indexes, and then everything else um, calculates correctly in the right position accordingly. Because we've made the purchases 1, 2, and 3 tranches the same exact uh, formatting and spacing on all the matrix tabs. So it's like 4 matrix tabs making up one giant matrix. I don't really know how else to even explain it. That's just what it is. Okay, so I already did. I don't need to actually copy that because I already got it there. I just need the values. All right, revenue. So now again, we just start with 69 and 38, and everything else should be fine. Scroll this over. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to check these up. What happened here? Did we... 66. I don't know why I keep putting 6, 9, 9. It's good to always know what you should be seeing so that when you see something, or try to know what you should be expecting so that when you do a calculation and it's way off, you know it's way off. Okay. Next up. And see what's changing when I do these formulas and how I'm getting the right, like purchase 5, purchase 4 round is because now the other references like C11, 111 for matrix 1, it's moving down right with this. You see group 5 starts in C11, and here we're multiplying by that on our last set of the calculation. All right, 6. And then what's the top one? 38. All right, we're getting there. I think the hardest part of this was just the structure. Now everything should be pretty smooth. It's kind of like the grunt work. 69 and 38. What's up, viewer? Welcome. Just working on another masterpiece here. All right, so that's we got one more tranche. Just references. Okay, now I'm going to just pick some random cells and check them to make sure the value I'm getting is the value I should be getting. So let's just look at like group 5. Let's look at year 4, category 12, $1,468. We just highlight this in yellow. Excuse me. Okay, so category 12, let's do some math here. So category 12, purchase 5 is 12. Purchase 5 was for $16 times 25 units. So that's $400 in cost. Make sure that's right. So category 5, what I say, 12, or purchase group 4. Hold on. What did I say? Purchase group 5, category 12. Purchase group 5, category 12. I've got 375. All right, so let's see. So that's different than what I thought. I got 375 for that. Ah, perfect. We found an error, which is good to find these now. So I was referencing purchase 4 group, and it should be 5. So now let's just check all these. As soon as you find an error like that, we can go through and check, make sure all these don't have the same error. So we want to make sure this is highlighted. Purchase 2, which is good. Purchase 3. Purchase 4. Ah, see now purchase 4 again, so this needs to be dragged down. And everything else is the same. So we can drag this over for 5. Now, yep, there we go. So category 12, purchase group 5, $400. Okay, that's the number we expected. It's a great test we did there. Let's check this other one. Okay, this is still, yeah, so we messed up here. It's always good to catch these. Just start with the first cell. So apparently after 4, we stop moving these down. Let's drag that over. Because this is dynamically pulling the cost value based on, and we have to get the timing of these costs for their correct depreciation. It's pulling this, looking for this wordage here. Okay, so that's fixed. Let's see if 7, yep, 7, same issue. Got stuck on, well, this one, wait, what happened here? Hold on, we have 7 purchase groups. This is doing a number. Oh wait, yeah. Let's see. So this is, just let me check this too now. So this is doing E7, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, wait, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, Y, wait, T, U, V, W for unit count. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. What in the world happened in tranche 7 here? It looks like I just accidentally put matrix 1 numbers. I never updated this, so let's copy this down here and see what we gotta adjust. So this needs to move down. Index B5 W31. B5 W31. Okay, that's the right thing. Match B166, which is a category with that test. Okay, that was horrible. I lost service. I don't know how that's going to affect the video upload. I hope it doesn't. We can only hope. Let me check. Oh man, I hate that. No, it's still going. No, it's still going. No, it's still going. Okay, so I think this is fine. It's just still going. Okay, so I think this. All right, let's get back here. Okay. So, well, we already caught one issue, which is great. The cost in category 7 here was messed up, as well as, well, 6 and 5 were also all referencing the wrong thing, so that was fixed. Now let's get back to our number here. So 1498. So we're saying, so category 12 we have in April. What was that, purchase group 5? Yeah. Category 12, 25 units. So 25, and then by then we're losing 1% per month. So, and what month are we checking here? Month 48. So it started in December 2021, and then went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or did I say month 48? So 64%. So technically you got 16 units left. Average category 12 utilization rate in year 4 is 60%. So you've got 25 started with. By that point in time, you've got 16 left. You're utilizing 9.6 a month. So of the 16, you've rented out 9.6 of those. And technically, your utilization rate could be over 100%, I guess, because if you've got 16 and you rent them like all out um, in a week, and then get them back and then rent them all again the next week and so on, it could be over 100%. So I guess you could technically have over 100% utilization. I'll probably do some smart logic to incorporate that in somehow so you can see what your actually assumptions are meaning. Um, anyway, so we're just doing a check here. So by that month you've got 9.6 and you're charging average for 12 is $6 a day. And then we're doing 26 days. So 1497.60, is that the number? Yep, that looks like it. So that's good. That means our calculations are correct, it appears. Thank goodness. And so that's what I usually like to do with sanity checks here is just pick some random ones, check it, make sure it matches up. If it does, it's likely that, and pick something like in the middle of the year so you know that your year stuff is working. What's up, viewers? Welcome to Excel Work. Building a rental model here. We've already caught a couple errors from our work last week, and I am finished with the revenue of all these different cohorts. So let's think what we got to do next. We have all the revenue stuff. OpEx is going to be super easy. We've got, obviously, these costs to buy are going to be aggregated. Total purchases. I guess I could start on the monthly detail. So we've got total purchases. The next hardest thing is going to be depreciation. Might as well do that. And we're going to have to do it on the same matrix setup here with all the cohorts. So copy that. Now, so depreciation, we're going to have to set a useful life for that. Let's just put it on the end here. And so what we'll say is you're going to be able to expense out and it's all going to be straight line for this and useful life in years. Now furniture could be a little bit different than computer equipment. That could be a little bit different than party stuff. So depending on what you're renting out, and I did up to 25 categories of stuff, it could be different. So I'm just going to put 7 years here. And I guess technically you could have a decimal. This is not going to go into bonus depreciation. We're not going to go into um, double declining balance stuff. It's just going to be straight line. So monthly depreciation. So as soon as you buy something in one of these months for one of these rounds, it's going to start depreciating one. Well, I guess you could say. So if this is 7 years, you do 1 divided by this times 12 is the monthly. So you're losing, you know, 1.19% can be depreciated per month on category 1. Anything you buy in category 1. And the reason why I don't always do depreciation logic, but this is definitely material to this model because it's, you're renting stuff out, so that your whole model is buying stuff that's depreciable. So figuring out the tax effects of that, you're going to need to know depreciation. So I got to do it. And it's probably not super easy because you have to utilize all these matrix tabs to get the right timing of your depreciation. So I'm going to put it in here. So you can define a useful life. That's going to give you a monthly depreciation amount. Now let's look at each one. So we can say, so I think we have the year, the life. Do we have the life somewhere? No. Matrix, dollar amount. This is just percentage. So what I have to do now is say we have to start counting. So if I guess we could probably reference this. So if this equals 1, it's automatically a start month. Is there another thing though that's better? I guess I could do this one. Multiple references here. In Excel, it's funny. You could do anything like a million different ways. I just try to do it the most efficient you can, but and sometimes there's just not a most efficient. It just depends. Here, I think it makes sense. If this is greater than 0, then oh yeah, technically, I just thought of this. If I use that percentage left, let's say I put that it's not going to lose like the monthly degradation 0%, then it actually would be 100% every month, and then that would not work. So we have to use this actually. So if this is greater than 0, then 1, otherwise 0. Oh, dang it. It's greater than 0, then 1, otherwise 0. So for the first month of all these, it can never be anything but 1 or 0, depending on what the start months of purchases were. All right, so all 7 rounds. Just making sure, yeah, some stuff we didn't purchase till month 3. Okay, that's good. Actually, it was just for tranche 2 that we did that for. Okay, yeah, and everything was 1. And then now we go, so now we count. So simple, do the same calculation if this is greater than 0, but now ahead of it we put if this is greater than 0, then do this plus 1. Otherwise, don't. So now we get accounting. Let's make sure that's right. So category 2 and 3 and 4 didn't start till month 3. Is that correct? Yep, month 3 was set for those, so perfect. We drag this. So now we've got the month of each product purchased dynamically so that you can put whatever you want for that. As far as when things are purchased, and this will automatically figure out the depreciation or where it should be at in the depreciation cycle or whatever you want to call it. And I'll show you how this is going to work. So if we know the life of the product or the equipment or furniture or whatever, we're going to go over here to validation and say 1, 2, all the way down to 60. And then we know for each, let's see, hold on a second. Okay, so potentially we could have a different life for each one. So let's think about how we do this. So we can do whatever the result of this is times index times this percent based on matching the row with the category name. So we did 1. So what that's going to mean, so this, let's see, we got to lock this first set. Lock that and lock this all around. So it's doing 1, and then I got to do, since this formula is different, no. Okay, no, we can't do it like this. Hold on. Undo, undo, undo. So we've got the useful life now. So depreciation 1, we're going to have to do a bunch of these. So second matrix, depreciation 2. Now we can take this and just do a simple this times and now do the index of how much should be left. Or this is going to be how much should be have been depreciated. Index this, match category with the category here. And so you'll see, so this we don't care about. Lock this up again. So there's the depreciation amount for each one dynamically. And I guess it can't be over 1, so we'll do a min max here. So this is going to be or a min of whatever this is or 1. If, let's say the depreciation was 2 years for category 1, you can see here after month 24, it'll just stop at 100% because you can't depreciate expense more than 100%. That's fully depreciated at that point. Okay, so that's done. Then we just copy, and since we're just referencing this, which is already dynamic, we just go paste, paste, paste in here. Okay, so that's the percentage of each unit that the value is left. Now we do one final, sorry, we do one final calculation, which is going to be, so if we know the amount that's to be depreciated, actually we're going to do two more tabs. So 3, so this is going to be the max of wherever our cost is. I think that was matrix 2. Whatever this cost is, the max of these rows, times 1 minus this. So after 1 month, there's 96% of whatever that cost was left. And eventually 0. And we don't need decimals. So so this is how much is like book value is over time, or depreciated value. Um, and yep, we could just copy this over. Copy, and doing it this way and breaking it out is really nice because you can do 1 and 2 step calculations and not like 5 or 6 within the same formula. So this is a lot easier to follow, and these numbers are good to have called out anyway. So okay, so now what's the depreciation? What's the change in these over time? So month 1 is always, you're not going to have depreciation because we're not starting to do it until month 2. Technically, I mean, you could say you buy it, it starts depreciating, but we're saying that happens over the first month. So month 1, you're at the full value. Month 2 is when it starts. So I think, hold on. No, we're actually depreciating it in the first month that it's purchased. So what do we have here? 10, $10. We're saying max of that times 1 minus depreciation C4, 96%. Right. So that's why it's not a full 10. It's actually worth 958. Okay. So the depreciation over time, now this is going to get a little tricky because now we have to actually know how much the first month is and why. Okay, hold on. We have to do if, that's why we got all these references. So if this is 0, then 0. Because we don't want to depreciate stuff that hasn't been bought yet. There we go. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Paste this down. So our issue is going to be with our first purchase month. It's actually, the depreciation is happening. Now, since it's straight line, I probably just did this whole schedule for nothing, but let's just copy this. Let's just go depreciation 4, and this we'll just do max of the cost, $10, times, let me think about this, times this. No, we want to do an index. So I want to copy and paste. So index this times the month it's been. So where's my age here? Times this. And I think that will do it. Wait, max this times that. Oh no, we don't need to multiply it by the life. It's just this amount, and then if this, no, let's see, if or this equals 0 or 1, then 0. And I think that gives us a number. Let's put it 2 decimals so I can see. So it should be 42 cents a month. Perfect. And then let's make sure. So 42 cents a month, and then by month 24 it's worth 0. So and we've depreciated. Wait, what? 958. What's this one? So we're off by a little bit. Hold on, let's make this one 2 years as well. Let me check it. And this one should be, wait, what? No, 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 no. 2 years. Not for this one. 2108, and we need it to say 22. All right. So we're off here by a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so it needs to actually have it needs to actually have month 24 as a depreciation month, even though it's gone to value 0. So this is tricky. This is actually not as easy as I thought that happens. So let's think about this. We have to figure out how much is being depreciated each month. Can we reference this? Let's do another calculation saying total months, and which is just going to equal this times 12. And now we can say do this calculation unless so if this equals 0, don't do it, or if where's my years again here, or months here, if this is greater than index this. And now it should do the full 24 months. Let's see if it pops in there. So 24, yep. And now let's see if it is 0. Perfect. Okay. That'll do it. And then this one is 22. Perfect. And then because I used index and match, I can now just copy and paste this all the way down. And it should work perfectly. We'll check it even so. Let's look at revenue 7. 467 goes for 24 months. $112. And let's see, is this $112? Yep. Let's check category 18. Should be 792. Let's put all these at 2 years just for fun, just so I can see. Category 18. Purchase 7. $33. 792. Is that what we had? Yep. Okay. All right. So now we can do depreciation. Expense. And it's just this. Copy this down and over. This is the hardest calculation. And because we've done it in categories, we can add it all up. We can show by category. If you want some visuals, that's what I'll probably do in the end. But first, I'm just trying to focus on getting to a pro forma EBITDA and EBIT, I guess, earnings before taxes. So I know the purchases. I now know The hardest thing is probably depreciation expense. Let's put this down because we want other stuff to be up here. So I'm going to put probably revenue by category in the detail. Now all the hard stuff's done. Oh, that was definitely the hardest thing. Now it's just a matter of just filling out the rest of these calculations. Okay, depreciation expense is just this plus this plus this plus this. And see, the matrix style logic allows you to figure out individual cohorts and then aggregate it on a monthly timeline. It's super, super useful for any kind of financial model that shows data on a monthly and annual basis. It has that logic. All right, so we're only purchasing things for that long. Here's our depreciation expense going along there. You can see it basically goes up to the max until we stop buying stuff, and then it goes down because obviously we're no longer increasing our expenses, or there's nothing left new to depreciate, so the amount goes down as things start to get fully depreciated. Now, if we put these back to, like, let's say 7 years, then nothing's going to actually fall off in the time period. So we just go to a max depreciation of 950 here in this case, and then it's 950, and nothing falls off because even in month 60, nothing's fully depreciated yet. If you want to see, we can, now that we did all these complex calculations, we can say, and this isn't revenue, this is book value. And that's going down over time. And that could be interesting to reference. I'm not going to use it for anything, but you may want to show this. On here just for fun. If we want to say, so you can do kind of some cool stuff here. We'll do, paste this in. We can show so total purchase, cumulative purchases, which is just the aggregate of what you bought, and then the actual book values, and then that you can see kind of what the difference is of that and depreciation. This could come in useful if you're trying to do three statement models, which we're not doing in here. I'm just trying to get to a monthly cash flow amount and position. So this is here, and obviously what you can generate in profits based on operating activities. So cumulative purchases, and then the book value is just this. Watch this. We just do the total of this. And so you get this value 79.8 as the actual total amount. And I'm actually not positive if book value is the total amount, and then after you take out depreciation, what's that? I guess let's look it up real quick. I'm just kind of curious. Book value is asset. Book value of depreciable asset. Cost minus its cumulative depreciation. Got it. Okay, so that's another calculation. So all we put here is, so this is actually, wait, is this the book value? Net book value is the cost of an asset minus depreciation. Yeah, so that's this, because this is saying the total value of all the assets minus what has been depreciated. So that's, we already actually did it. So this is book, we'll just call this net book value. Yeah. Cumulative purchases, that's fine. You could probably name that something else if you wanted to, but essentially you bought $79,000 worth of stuff, and here's its book value over time as the depreciation adds up. And here's your actual depreciation expense here. And what's interesting, if you sum up all of this, it should equal the difference. Like, so if I sum up everything, and it says I've depreciated 41,000. I bought this much. If I do this minus this, I hate how this is. You get 38, 648. Well, that is not equal to 31, 662. So let's check, because that's not a result I expected. And why is this? Oh, this is a. So let's say we bought 370 minus depreciation. We're at 366. Why is this 255? Ah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like I didn't add everything. Wait, yeah, I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I didn't. I forgot. 138, 111. Forgot the last one, which would be 165. We got 138, 111, 84, 57, 30, and 3. Okay, yeah. So I forgot the last thing. Now, see, that matches that. Okay. And if I drag this over, now you're at 38, and that's equal to the sum of all of this. If you take the total purchases minus this, 38,648, that's our net book value. So what that means is our depreciation expense makes sense relative to all the other stuff going on. We got our purchases for cash flow, so we know how much we bought. We got our depreciation expense, which is going to be an item after EBITDA. It'll be EBIT. Okay, cool. That's the hardest thing. So everything I just did was mainly done like that, so I could build this right here to get this depreciation expense and the purchases per month. These two calculations, cumulative purchase and book value, are just kind of like side calculations, but they could be useful depending on what you're using the model for exactly and what you want to build off of it. Okay, so this is great. This all works. Thank goodness. let's just do a check here. This sum is 79.8, which should equal our total purchases. 79.8. Yep, it does. So that's good. We're not missing anything at all. Okay, so revenue by category. Let's fill that in. Make some more rows. Total revenue. Now this is, again, we go, let's see, where did we have revenue? Matrix 3. So we just aggregate revenue for each category. Make sure we don't forget any. And also, if we wanted to show, so that's the total there, as purchases happen, you buy more stuff, you get more revenue over time. And then that revenue actually should be going down once we hit a max because of our 1% loss. So yeah. So once we stop purchasing, we hit a max, and then we're going down by essentially, this should be about 1%. 1.12. And let's see, is there some reason why that's not exactly 1? Probably because, let's see, our utilization is not 100%. Trying to think what all could affect this number. Let's drag it across and see. So it's going down by more than 1%. What if we pull this up to one of these? I'm curious. That is over 2%. Drag this over. All right. So the very first one is 1%. Let's think about what could be changing this. Well, obviously it's 1.01. If you're losing, let's see, we're in the same year, so nothing is changing like for utilization or pricing or anything. What happened? Ah, I know. So category 1, you have purchases happening at different times. So because of that, even though each one is decreasing at 1%, some might be at different, like their 1% could be different than the life of one, like the timing of 1% on something that's bought in January. So the amount that actually goes down is never going to be exactly 1% unless, let's say, these were all the same month, January. Now let's see, 1. Now we're at 0.08. So category 1, I've made them all start at the same month. So even though they're different values here, this is all the same. Depreciation should not matter. We're going down 1% in the number of units per month. I guess the dollar value is different. Like, so if I have 5 units and now I have 4 and 3 and 2, that's going down evenly. But if I have 5 units that are, let's see, actually, no, that should still be, I'm trying to think here. This is not revenue, by the way. This is nothing. I don't need this. So I guess I could do, so what is this, depreciation? Total cumulative depreciation. This is life. We don't need this. Life of purchase cohort. Which these will be important labels when someone's coming to see this for the first time. So purchase cohort. Cumulative depreciation. Book value, that's right. And then depreciation expense, that's fine. That now this is, so this is loss of inventory, I guess you could say, or remaining from initial purchase. Assuming you break things, things get lost over time. So this is where I'm real curious about. So you can see this is going down by 1%. I guess the reason why the revenue is not exactly 1% and it's getting higher and higher is because let's say you're getting 1% or 100%, then you get 1% less. You have 1% less things, so your revenue goes down. The first month it will always be 1%, but now going from 99 to 98, yes, the change here is 1%, but the value going from 99% of something to 98% is going to be different. So like if so I would say what's 1% of 99, right? So 1%, what's this of 99 is actually, it's 1.01. And that's what calculation is happening here, 1.01. So that is correct, and these should, so that is, the fact that these are going down by more than 1% makes complete sense. It's just what you have is decreasing 1% of its total value each month. The actual effective reduction in revenue per month as a relative to the previous month is then going to be some different number based on just whatever you got down to, as you keep going, it's just a different proportion. So that makes sense. That's fine. We're good there. What I wanted to do, all right, so this is good. Total revenue. We're going to put all this stuff way down here. This is not in the top section of the pro forma. So We can group this. I imagine, unless I literally get super slow this week, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen, um, I'll finish this next week. But all the complexity is pretty much done. I did want to do one thing here, which was show kind of based on utilization rate of the available furniture or whatever. I just put it furniture, but this could be anything of whatever's left of a given purchase amount. How much of how many times per month is it rented out? I guess you could say. And we could say based on 26 days and a utilization rate, that should be it. Um, let's see. I guess we want, so revenues here, we probably want to put some total rentable units, if I even have that somewhere. This is revenue. So here's what I have. I want to do a second matrix that does, and then this is going to show what's left. So I want to go copy this. We'll do matrix 5. And this is going to say units left. And we just do simply a max of what's in here times the percentage left. And that way we can get total rentable units available per month. So max of that times, where's our percentage here? So we start off with 10, 9, yeah, there we go. That's what I want. And then some, wait, shoot, that's the month's number. Let's put this up here. Units left. And we just sum this up here. Let's bold this up. And then we can just literally copy paste this all the way down. Actually, I don't want this to have a number or a decimal. Copy, paste. Oh, shoot. What happened? This needs to reference that. So for each purchasing cohort, this is how much is left by category. Okay, so 11, does that make sense? Yeah, January. Okay, yeah, because we start all these in the first month. So here's how much is left. So I can go by category. Here's revenue. is actually purchases is part of this. Get that. Units left. And then we just go our this one and just go this. And we could go by category or by purchase code or purchase tranche. Either one. And these are just good sanity checks so you can see if the assumptions you're putting in are making sense for what's happening on a monthly basis. And I think that's good to have so you get a grip on what's going on in the model and understand it, and then you'll be able to use it better. Okay, so units left is here. We can group this. I guess say total rentable units. Purchases, you know what? This actually might want to be up top because it's showing like how much of stuff you're buying. If we put purchases, net book value can go back down. That's just going to be like a metric down here somewhere. Up here though, we'll actually want a section. So total purchases, cumulative purchases. Dollar. So what's really driving everything is really the units purchased. And I'm going to change this from furniture just to units. And here you can see cumulative purchases number. And then this is, let's see, do we do purchases here, I think? Just this plus that, all the way down the line. Oh, wait. I need to sum that. Actually, we sum all of this, the whole entire column. So that's how much you're buying per month of stuff based on your schedule. Usually it'll be more of like in a tranche, like first couple months, then you buy another bunch in a bit later. But however you do it, this will show. Then here you can see the cumulative effect. So you can see the difference between the total rentable units and what you bought. So there's that percentage loss there. If you were to set this to 0, let's put if error here so we don't have any issues. If you were to set all these to 0, then these will be the same. So you can see, yeah. Let's drag all this over. And yeah, you essentially 4375, 4375. But when we start to say, well, technically it's likely that whatever you purchase, some small percentage is probably going to be destroyed over time. It's just the fact of just renting or buying stuff and renting it out. There's some wear and tear. So we're going to account for that. All right, so here's what you're buying each month. Here's the cumulative amount. Here's the dollar value. Here's the cumulative dollars purchased for stuff. I think that's good to have at the top. That kind of drives everything else. So we got that. Then you could actually see rentable units. Now, based on what's rentable, I wonder if there's any smart logic we can do here. Like I have this much rentable. Here's how much revenue I'm actually making. I don't know. I don't know if there is a good way to do this. It's just, we're basically saying, look, you buy this stuff, a full utilization of 100% would mean, let's just do that for a second and see for category 1. What if it's 100%? So it means total purchased units is 91, rentable units is 91. Your revenue is here. So there's a step between rentable units and revenue, I think, that we want to show, which is kind of like a vacancy, but not really. Like in real estate, it's more like a utilization. So if we say, here's every category. So here's what's rentable. What actually gets rented is what I want to know. And to figure that out, per month, we say in a given full month period, there's 91 of these units for category 1. Hold on a second. Why is category 1? Ah, because we did it all in the same month. So that's 91. And then those go down. Okay, that makes sense. So you've got 91 units here. But for a given full month period, which we're saying there's X amount of days rentable per month. Let's say it's 26. You're renting, in this case, 100% of that each day. So it essentially means you've rented every single unit was out for 1 day. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something with this. So let's see. What's this times this? 7,098. Yep, so that's our revenue. So technically, if we let's back up here. Let's say this is so here's the max potential units you can rent. 91. If we have 100% utilization, it means all units were rented every single day of the month. So we rented 91 units every day of the month. So unit 1 through 91 was out and at $3 a day. Let's say we had a utilization of 10%. Now it's saying of 91, you've had 9 that were rented out every day. So technically, you're underutilized. You only need 9. Let's say these are couches or whatever. You're over, you bought quite a bit too much compared to what you rented out. So this is saying you've rented out 9 for X days, 26 days. Or it could also mean the same thing. Could be you've rented out 91 of them for not 26 days, but 10% of that, so 2 days. It could mean the same thing. So in this case, you've rented 91 out, like let's say you rented out on day 1 and day 2 and day 3. There's decimals in there because it's percentages. It's not all whole numbers, but let's say roughly 3 days you rented 91 units out, and then the other 24 days they just sat there. It could also mean that. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to display what we're talking about here, because it could mean either way. This is the thing with multiplying percentages. It doesn't really matter. Like we could say we rented out 91 units. We rented out 9 of the 91 units every day, or we rented out um, the 91 units for 2.5 days. Let's see. So this is units fully rented out. If we did this times assumptions. Now we got to do an index actually because it's going to change by year. This. All right, so that can't change. That can't. This will, but the letters can't. All right, so units fully rented out. Per month. And then technically, we can do an average utilization since they can vary per category. So total is fully rented out. And that just means fully rented out per month just means you use 9 units At any one point in the month, 9 units were out for the day. So your utilization is then 9 divided by 91, about 10%, which is what the assumption is saying. Here's that. And then we could put, so then we say units fully rented out. You're making $710 because we could say, well, we've rented 9 units out of the 91 every day, making $3 a day times 26 days in the month. 70, okay, and that's the same as that. True, okay. Or the same math we could say is, well, we rented 91 units out. We could say of the 26 days, we were only active 2.6 days. So 2.6 days we rented out the full 91. And each unit was $3, and that should be the same number. 709. Yep, same thing. So you can look at it a couple different ways, and having these different levers in different assumptions allows you to really basically account for anything that might happen. So let's do percentage, average percentage of full utilization. And the reason why we put this is because it's different when you start to have categories with different utilization rates. So we'll do, we're running out 9 of available 91. And yeah, so that's going to be an average. So the first category is 10, and then 15. And that's the average. And I think actually seeing the number here, like 15, is saying a category 2, you've bought 98 things over the course of a month. On average, you're only using 15 of that 98. Or you're using 98, whatever percent per day. You know, what was that? Category 2, you're using 15% of 26 days, you're fully rented out. So this utilization rate is, you can just assume full utilization means every day you're rented out every single unit you have. And then whatever percent you put here is going to then decrease that by whatever this is. And you could think of it as decreasing the amount of days that you're fully rented out, or decreasing the amount of units that are fully rented out at any point during the month. And that should be enough granularity for whatever whatever insights you need on the forecast. So total rentable units, units fully rented out per month. If this percentage is low, well, it just means your utilization rates are low. You probably bought more than you needed. If the utilization's higher, maybe you're over 60%, that's probably really good. Just depends on the situation. Okay. And you can minimize these if you hit the little box up here, 1 and 2. Then you could just see the totals, and you don't need to see. Did I hide too much here? No. Total rentable units. Units fully rented out per month. rate, and the actual revenue. So here in like month 7, we're saying, well, we got 757 things. We are renting out 109 of those, 26 days a month. Or 757 units were fully rented out for, 14% of the days. And we got revenue. And then, so the easy stuff, so revenue is hard. OpEx is going to be very easy. We're just going to pull from probably one of these. Let's see which is a good one. Probably pull from this. Yep. So just copy paste. Operating expenses are going to be things like your management team, sales team, um, rent if you're renting out space, or um, utilities, accountant work, legal work, just things to keep the lights on. And I'll just give you all these categories: sales, marketing, G&A, R&D. Usually for this, it's you definitely have sales and marketing and G&A. You may not have research and development, but you might. I guess it depends. And then you could have payment charges based on like credit card fees that you got to pay, or now cost of goods sold, we don't really, this is not going to matter because we're renting things out. We have all that logic. So let's just fix the date formatting for the drop downs. Should be this. We end up not needing that other validation. Not needed. Okay. Put this in. I like to just stagger the months just so I can make sure the logic is handling it correctly. But when you go to fill this out, you'll put in all your own numbers, whatever makes sense for you. Freeze this. This is going to be equal to this first month. There could be other like CapEx things. And these don't have any depreciation tied to them, but just for cash flow forecasting, if you plan on doing one-time costs of who knows what, you can account for that here. One-time startup cost, maybe a website, maybe a big marketing campaign to start, who knows. And then these operating costs are going to be, you could define what they are here. The fully loaded monthly fixed cost, And then you can change that in each year. But this is the monthly cost per year. And then the start month. This will just be based on when revenue happens. So that's pretty much it for that. Not very complicated. Our revenue's nice. Let me zoom out a little. That's too much, probably. Okay. So you can list your categories, fill all this out, purchase schedule of what you plan on buying. It might be all right up front, which is fine, but it might not be. And if you want to plan out a scaling of this over time with all the different factors factoring in by month, this will do it. Average rental fee per day. All right. What other, I wonder if I could do any other cool revenue metrics like average. Maybe like average monthly rental fee per unit. Like how much is one, on average, how much is one unit making? So let's see, I guess we just do total revenue divided by total rentable units. So 780. So that's saying on average, out of all the units that you have available to rent out, you're making $7.80 a month. If we put this utilization up to 100%, you're not $78, which should make sense. Let's say this first one's 3 times 10 units. Well, really, we know there's 91. $3 a day, renting them all. Let's see, you've got 91. If we multiply that by $78, don't freeze on me. I don't know when I last saved. Oh, okay, let me save real quick. 7,098. Is that, yeah, 7,098. Yeah, so average monthly rental fee per unit per available unit. And then I could also say average monthly rental fee per unit rented. So only looking at what was actually rented. I guess that would be, hold on, let me put this percentage back down so I can see the difference between the two. 7.8, and then this is going to be total revenue divided by units rented out. 78. Okay, there, that makes sense. No decimals. So unless you're at 100% utilization, the average rental fee, monthly rental revenue per available unit is going to be less than the average monthly rental revenue per unit rented. So of whatever you rented, of the units that were rented out, you made $182 a month per unit on average. Go back to here, it starts at 78, and then of the actual units that are sitting in your inventory or warehouse or whatever's available, it's actually earning you $8 per unit bought. I think these are actually really good calculations too. Okay, so we've gotten through all our revenue logic. I think we can start on, I'm just going to put, just do some formatting. So these are purchases. What's going on, viewer? Welcome to the Financial Modeling live stream. It's a lonely stream, but if you're into this stuff, I gotta imagine there's some value here. All right, no fill, revenue, and then OpEx. We'll have to make a lot of slots for this. Still going down. Okay, so these will be G and A. I'll move those around after I finish putting the formulas. G and A, sales and marketing. Okay. So nothing new here. Been at it for over 2 hours now. I think I'm taking them or done for the stream. Got pretty far. And this has lots of new logic never done before for the rental business industry. I'm excited to finish. We've got all the revenue going. We're gonna get the OpEx in here. Then we'll do the math for like EBITDA, EBIT, the actual cash flow per month. And then I'll do an annual detail, I'll do an executive summary, distribution detail, investor logic if you have investors. All of that stuff I'll probably finish up next week, so just hang tight one more week and we should be done. All of the major complex stuff is done. It's just about just filling out the rest of the model with the basic shell structure and doing some finishing the pro forma. But you can see all the work that has to go into this. It's a lot to get this right, but I think it's valuable. And it should hold value for a long time. Okay, don't forget, check out smarthelping.com. Thanks for viewing the stream. If you do go to Smart Helping, note I do have all kinds of bundles. So I have like 90, 100, 113 templates at the moment. And you can buy them by category bundle. You could buy them by bulk or buy all the templates. Or you could just look at what, if you have specific ones in mind. Take a look through. When I finish this furniture rental model, I'm probably going to list it for $45 and it will be part of the industry specific models. I don't think it fits anywhere else. And this is definitely an upgrade to the original equipment rental model I've done in the past, which is one of my best sellers. So I'm assuming this new one will be good and popular because it's this, but just the revenue logic is, as you can see, it's a bit more intense, and then it does have depreciation built in automatically. All right. I am off. See you next week.